KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. All right, let's get started tonight with a look at your forecast. This weekend flirts with record temperatures for October. We've got meteorologist Michelle Boss getting us ready for another beautiful fall weekend.
Yeah, what a spectacular October it's been so far. It's like every other night. You get to see the aurora, clear skies. It's not freezing out there. We've got some beautiful weather on the way for this weekend, starting off with the lack of windy conditions. So calm winds all across the region at the 10 o'clock hour on Friday night, and winds should stay light all weekend long. Temperature-wise, we were in the mid-60s today, which doesn't sound particularly warm, but that's still about 5 degrees above average. 54 right now in Spokane. Has cooled off into the 40s in Deer Park and Sandpoint, still in the 50s. Then when Moses Lake, Wenatchee, and Lewiston, 45 right now. One of the cooler spots in Pullman. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there. Most of the green you're seeing in far eastern Washington, North Idaho, that's just ground clutter. Maybe a few sprinkles out west in Douglas County, but that's actually not moving in our direction. We're looking for clear skies tonight. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Won't be terribly chilly tomorrow morning. We'll start off in the lower 40s, but we are on our way to potential record high, tying the record high of 76 on Saturday, 74 in sunshine on Sunday.
Michelle, thank you so much. Meanwhile, with wildfire season winding down, Washington Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz made the trip to Deer Park today. As Shannon Matty reports tonight, she was here to talk about how investments in both aviation and forest management impacted the season.
Commissioner Franz says new tools and new laws have helped reduce the size and devastation of Washington's wildfires. All good things must come to an end. That's also true of the bad things.
We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst.
And Hillary Franz says this year's fire season wasn't the worst. Far from it.
Just over 300,000 acres of land have burned across the state this year. It is one of the lower totals that we have seen in the last decade.
With 1,400 fire starts statewide, 95% of them were under 10 acres. Though big ones, like Keller's Swawilla fire, did stretch DNR resources. Though there's more of those, too.
The moment smoke's in the air, they're flying.
Franz says the department now has 44 air resources, the most in its history. State law now allows local fire districts to leverage those choppers and planes much faster.
It used to take around 6 calls, I believe, and now it's about 3.
We would have simply been without aviation support.
And while more than 800,000 acres of forest has been restored in 7 years, there's more to do, including teaching more people to protect it. Especially in western Washington, Franz says, which marked a not-so-good first in 2023. More fires than the eastern half of the state.
Not only less prepared for it, but they're also more likely to be part of the cause. Debris pile burns, for example, is one of still our highest cause of wildfires.
So the work's far from done, even though fire season is...
It's not over.
Almost.
It's not over yet. It's not over till it's over.
After 8 years, this will be Commissioner Franz's last fire season as leader of the Department of Natural Resources. She didn't seek re-election and lost her bid for Congress earlier this year. Shannon Matty, KREM 2 News.
Shannon, thank you so much. In the meantime, Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson's asking a Spokane federal judge to make a final ruling on the FDA's restrictions against mifepristone. A temporary injunction's in place right now. Ferguson's part of a coalition of 18 attorneys general trying to permanently open up access. Right now, prescribers need to be certified before they can supply the drug to patients. Mifepristone's one of 2 drugs used in nearly 66% of all abortions last year. Let's go to Night View right now for a quick look at the day's top stories. School ended early for hundreds of East Valley middle and high school students today to avoid a controversial group of protesters. The Westboro Baptist Church out of Kansas protested at the school. It's in response to a transgender student athlete winning a state track and field championship title last May. This caused the district to send a notice to parents this week, saying both middle schools and high schools would be let out early as a result. The group's been labeled a hate group by the Anti-Defamation League.
We did find out that this was targeted at one of our students, and an attack on one is an attack against all of our kids, and we're going to maintain the safety and ensure that our kids are okay.
We're ending school early, which is obviously shortening my education for the day, but it's protecting everyone, and that's necessary. So.
The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says they monitor the protest as it happened. Boeing's firing 17,000 people as losses mount and a machinist strike enters its 5th week. The company also says it'll delay the launch of its new wide-body airplane and stop producing the 767 aircraft after it delivers the remaining orders.
It's going to hurt a lot of people, hurt a lot of families, and a lot of people are going to be out of jobs and out of work. That's not good for anybody.
In a staff memo, the company CEO said they won't deliver the 777X wide-body plane until 2026. That puts it 6 years behind schedule. The layoffs and production changes come amid a labor dispute at Boeing. 33,000 machinists went on strike last month after failing to agree to a contract. And the FAA's process for oversight isn't good enough to identify and resolve Boeing's problems. That's according to a report from the Transportation Department's Office of Inspector General. The report dug into the agency's oversight of the production of the 737 and 787 and went as far as calling it a failing system. The report says the FAA needs to move away from a reactive approach and better identify risks before they happen. The report made 16 recommendations to help the agency improve, including developing guidance on how to assess risk in Boeing's manufacturing facilities and for audits to better assess Boeing's production. That was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. Well, in just a few short weeks, Washington state voters will decide whether to repeal the state's Climate Commitment Act. Last night, the man behind that initiative squared off in a debate against the former state senator described as the architect of the law. Passing the initiative Repeal the Climate Commitment Act would also prevent the state from making the biggest polluters pay for their carbon emissions. Jim Nelson with our Seattle sister station brings us more tonight.
We're at a tipping point of time. This program does work.
First of all, it was sold under false premises.
Former Washington State Senator Reuben Carlisle defending the Climate Commitment Act he championed. Hedge fund owner Brian Haywood, the driving force behind an attempt to repeal it. He argues it's costing the people of Washington too much, notably at the gas pump.
I can guarantee you that if we get rid of this flawed, grifting program, the price of gas will go down.
There's not one provision of the initiative that actually lowers gas prices at all. In any way.
Haywood is also looking to end the state's cap and trade or tax programs, which essentially allow the state to charge top polluters for carbon emissions and use revenue to fund projects. Carlisle pointed directly to $5.4 billion in wildfire prevention and transportation programs that help provide free access to public transit for kids and teens. But at its core, the former senator says it's about the environment.
It's the single most effective climate policy in the world. It works. The data's overwhelming.
Haywood claims the nearly 500,000 signatures collected for this initiative are the most in state history for any ballot measure. He admitted he doesn't have an alternative in mind, but insists he's open to climate-friendly conversations.
You can make a lot of dreams and make all these fairy promises, but the reality of what's actually happening doesn't seem to match it.
And that's Jim Nelson reporting a yes vote on I-2117 means eliminating the Climate Commitment Act, while a no vote will keep it in place. All right, it's KREM 2's Football Friday. Our game of the week tonight will be at the Shadle Park Gonzaga Prep matchup. Be sure to join us on KREM 2 News at 11 tonight for our KREM 2 Football Friday show to catch all of the highlights. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.